just firstly let me say, as president of this great club, my board and I take full responsibility for the position that we find ourselves in, and in no way we deviate from that. As you've probably read by now, we're extremely pleased to announce earlier this week, following our board meeting last Monday, that Peter Jackson has extended his commitment to the club until at least the end of 2014. Now, this is an extremely important step in our club overhaul, and I'd really like to thank Peter for making that commitment. And his enthusiasm, his experience and his knowledge is going to be a great asset for our footy club. I also want to inform you that as part of the assessment of the whole club, the board will be critically assessing their own performance. And it was agreed at last Monday's meeting that board member John Trotter, who's actually on the table here with me today, former managing partner of Deloitte, will lead that board assessment. Now, John, who joined the board in 2010, has significant international and national corporate government experience and expertise obtained over many, many years. And he will be assisted where required by new board member Jeff Freeman and our CEO Peter Jackson. And the scope of that assessment is going to include board processes, structures and alignments to the future direction and objectives of the club. And this assessment will also include a review of the current number of directors, the balance of skills and the structure of our subcommittees. During this assessment period, the club via John will welcome the input of any passionate Demon supporters who believe they may have the attributes to take our club forward. And indeed, we have already had several discussions with interested and committed members who have something to offer. The board must be rejuvenated, but without jeopardising the key relationships and strategic partners that have been built over the years. And John Trotter will present the findings and recommendations of this board assessment at the scheduled meeting in late June. And the recommendations will be shared with all our members and supporters soon after. And I also want to comment on some of the developments of last week, which I believe has reinforced that our members deserve to see a clear path forward for our club with new direction and energy as soon as possible. With regard to the comments made by David Schwarz, now Schwarz, you are a demon great, but I have to question the sense of some of your comments last week, albeit coming from the heart. And I have to say I find it incredible that you can state that you hope we get thrashed today. The board has made it clear we are reviewing all positions and structures throughout the club from top to bottom. And I have personally spoken with you several times to help you understand the complexities involved with moving our club forward. There are good people close to you, Schwarz, who share your passion but understand the bigger picture, and it is time you started listening to them. With regard to comments made by Jeff Kennett, one can only wonder what motivates a supporter of one AFL team to put themselves up as a president of a rival team. My preference would be to give no more oxygen to Jeff's comments. But I want to make it very clear to everyone that the Melbourne Football Club has no interest in someone who once said, "My heart bleeds gold and brown." Nor are we interested in someone who suggests that the Melbourne Football Club should merge with another club or move to the Gold Coast. And we're not interested in someone whose judgment saw them call for Premiership coach Alistair Clarkson's sacking after round one when they lost to Geelong. And needless to say, Hawthorn haven't lost a game since. Jeff, there was a very good reason the Victorian people threw you out of office despite your record. And from your performance last week, it would seem you're the only one who still doesn't know what that reason was. And to finish by labelling GWS the AFL's Gallipoli, well, Jeff, all I can say is it might be time for you to have a good, hard look in the mirror. As I've stated, our incumbent board takes full responsibility for where we are, and the decisions it has made can and should be analysed and questioned on their success or failure. However, in my view, my fellow directors cannot be questioned on their personal and financial commitment to our club, and they are all highly talented Demon fanatics. And it would be a mistake for our club to not recognise that these directors can and will make a positive impact on the future of the club, whether they are on the board or not. And I got an email this week from a passionate Demon and former board member Mick Coghlan. Many of you in this room will know Mick, a very passionate Demon, who reminded me that if the club is going to change, it needs to do so with dignity and unity. And those faceless, supposed influential supporters behind Jeff Kennett should remember that, and they should have the courage now to come and talk to me or John Trotter about our club's future. We all agree on the need for change, but the extent of that change needs to be managed with the club's best interests at heart and not that of individuals, particularly those that don't bleed red and blue. So to finish and summarise, our change process is in its early stages, but members should know that there is a clear path forward for the club. Under John Trotter, the board assessment and subsequent recommendations and actions for rejuvenation will be completed within weeks. In Peter Jackson, we've locked in a first-class CEO who will continue to analyse critical areas of the club and restructure their industry best practice. And we're in regular contact with the AFL, and this week we'll meet with the AFL Commission and we'll outline our plans for the future and we'll seek their continued support. And our football department will continue to be the #1 priority of our efforts, for improvement and subsequent success on the field is what drives all of us. So let's not forget the Melbourne Footy Club is an institution in Australian sport. The Melbourne Collingwood rivalry is part of the fabric of our great game, and today another chapter in a great story will play out in front of us on the magnificent MCG. I can't wait for it. I hope you're all the same, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for listening, and go down.